Let's go. I'm cold. Yeah, keep it warm. Let's go.
Welcome to the Omziel Healing Sanctuary. We're here giving you bite-sized information for you to take in your daily life. I'm here with a great friend and brother, as always. And this guy, I happen to see him like super motivated, man. You see him on the social media, he's getting lots of things done. So I find that fascinating, and that's what we do here at Omziel, pushing people to their limit and then beyond. I'll just allow him to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, thank you for having me. My name is Angel Ortiz, and I'm a father of two. That's first and foremost. I think above all, it's like my top priority, knowing that there's little eyes emulating, and I have two daughters, so I'm like setting a bar for who they're gonna be, attracted to later on. So, I'm a business owner, and I would say self motivated. I think you mentioned the term motivation. For me, I learned early on because I was like somewhat of like a motivation junkie, in which I would constantly binge on motivational videos, and I realized I wasn't doing anything because I lacked the discipline. So for me, I've come to a realization where like motivation's almost bullshit, right? And discipline is where it's at.
Right.
And Mike Tyson says it best. He says discipline is doing what you need to do as if you hate it. Right. And I think it's a trait of people who are successful, is doing what they have to do, whether they feel like it or not.
Right. That happened to me recently too. I started doing quite a number of things and pushing myself, and I was like, hey, I'm getting more things done. Like I've gotten rid of all of the other garbage and all of the other things that are in your life that you don't want to do, but you do them anyway, right? But that serve you no good. Right. But I started getting rid of those things, and then I started accomplishing a little bit more. And I was like, wow, man, this is where it's really at, And then I said, wait a minute, I can do better than this. And then I started pushing myself even more. And then I looked back and I was like, I thought I was pushing myself over there. Now it's like, imagine what I could do in the future.
And that's what the thing is. Like, I feel like as individuals, when we, number one, stick to our own word, you build confidence, right? So if it's me saying I'm going to get up early in the morning and I don't, internally there's a lack of confidence there. Whereas if I say, hey, I'm going to accomplish X, Y, and Z, and I do it, my chest is that much broader, like my head is that much higher.
Right.
And I think a lot of people, especially we're coming around this time of year, you might be able to tell from my shakiness, a little cold, because we're nearing New Year. And it's infamous for setting resolutions that people never really fall through on.
Gym membership, January.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's it's true, because you go to the gym in January, you see so many new faces. 3 weeks in, you got all the machines available.
Yeah.
And it comes down to just people not believing in their own word because they've fell through on their old word so many times.
Right.
So how much of life has to pass by before you realize I gotta change up the game plan?
Right.
I gotta start doing something different. Like, I'm 38 years old, and there were far too many mornings where I would sleep in and wake up with no guilt in the world.
Right.
Not realizing this time is finite.
Whole day away.
This time is finite, and being able to prioritize the rise, being able to prioritize my ability to start my day with a sense of gratitude, but not so much gratitude as I viewed it in one phase of my life, which was just like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel like a large portion of gratitude is results. It's action. It's putting in action.
Showing that gratitude.
Showing the action, like showing the gratitude by doing something. Like if I buy you a Ferrari and you don't wash it, you don't take the action, you're not grateful for it.
Right.
But if you keep that thing clean and polished, like I'm seeing you're putting in the work for it. Wow, he truly appreciates it.
Right.
And I feel like the creator of which we're all from sees that.
Exactly.
And, it looks down like this guy's moving a little bit different. Let me give him some other opportunities, because he is waking up early.
Right.
He is prioritizing his health. He is putting in the hours at work. And sometimes, I may do things, especially in relationship to business, where I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I'm just doing something.
Right. Right.
Right.
Get it going.
Get it going.
Let's get some movement.
Yeah, it's as if I heard someone give the expression of like having a northern star So if, in other words, if I'm walking to the other side of the city and I don't know how to get there through the streets, if I see one of those big attraction lights, right, like they set up one like on clubs and whatnot, I know that's where I got to go. So regardless if I go this way or that way, I'm gonna get there, right? So it's the same thing. I think taking action in business is just know your northern star. You know.
So maybe you can walk us a little bit through your day. How does that look like when you wake up in the morning, right? Because we're made up really of our routines, right? That's what we're really made of,
Right.
That when you wake up in the morning, how does it look for you?
Well, I try to keep myself accountable in that because I realize the power of a routine. So a lot of the routine that I have, I share. You may see some of that on social media. I have a supplement regimen. Naturally, it's waking up before the sun's up. If I don't, it's like a low blow to my character, at least the character that I'm trying to develop for myself. So there's almost like a sense of guilt. So and I have a tendency to somewhat to default to a negative state of being. I think a lot of people do. And so action really puts me into gratitude. So initially, after I get up in the morning and I prioritize myself by having my minerals and, any salts or any sodiums, any supplements that I'm taking, I then go to the gym. And there I can physically leave the mental state, right? And become physical in my own being, which elevates my frequency. So now if I'm back before the girls are up, I've already faced adversity. I've already put myself through stress.
Right.
I just had 315 pounds on my back. You know what I mean? Like I have stress and I've already accomplished it. So no matter what happens, if she says, "Oh, I forgot my laptop," no problem.
Right.
Like I'm able to deal with my family with a true sense of gratitude because I've already put in the work for the gratitude.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. We're heavy on that here. That's what the breath and the ice is really about. Like when you come here and you're in that ice for 2 minutes and your mind is screaming to get out, but you stick with it and you push through it. Come Monday morning, man.
Yeah.
Any BS they come with, you're like, man, please get out of here with that. I'm easy with what was it? Let me help you.
No,
Stuff
it's
like that.
facing the adversity is key. I think anybody can feel great and hold their head up high when they're having a good day. But it's who you are in those bad moments. It's who you are at those low moments that really dictate who you are, right? So if you're the person who backs out of the ice real quick, there's some work to do, right? If you're able to stick through that ice, even though it's difficult and uncomfortable, you just prove something to yourself.
For sure. We've had people here do that also. One woman in particular, Julia, she's the ice queen, man. One of the many ice queens that grace this place. And when she first came, she went in like halfway. And she was like, oh. And she was like, how much time left? I was like, I haven't even started the timer yet. You're not in. She was like, oh no, she got out, right?
Okay.
And then the next session that we had, a couple of weeks later, she was like, I'm coming. Okay, come through. And she faced it, man. She went in and she got in all the way and she stuck with it, man. And now she's regular.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's into jiu-jitsu and all of that.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
It pushed her. She said, this place right here helped me so much, she says.
Oh, yeah.
From that pushing, So here we are in the morning in your place. You get up, you have your stuff ready, and then you...
Yeah, I typically have, I have my supplements laid out the night before. And in this conversation, it's highlighting how much more I can do. So as we approach 2024, I think I'm going to do a better job at mastering the morning by really preparing the night before. I've heard many people say that, and if it's writing down a plan or what I'm going to do, it helps make that northern star that much brighter. But typically with respect to supplements and things like that, all that's already laid out. And I drive to the gym and I'm there for, hour and a half, 2 hours. It's not even so much the physicality aspect of it. I think that's just a byproduct. I go there chasing frequency and chasing mental peace.
Recently I was talking with another brother about that too. Like when you work out and your body looks nice and you lose that fat that you don't want, that's just a byproduct of what you're chasing for your mindset. That's really what it is. This is just a byproduct. How about meal prep?
So meal prep, I don't have a consistent meal prep plan. Now, don't get me wrong. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, right? That expression. I don't know who came up with that expression, but it's used. I hope nobody's out there doing that. But nonetheless, I do believe that there are various ways to obtain your goal. For some people, that goal is solely body composition. And so they'll use meal prep in terms of dialing down their macronutrients, having the 1 gram of protein and all those things. But I'm a little more sensitive to my health, digestive health being one of them.
Right.
I recognize that never before in history have we been so privileged enough to have refrigerated foods and meals prepped and, you know, all this high quality protein on demand. And so I realized when I did have meals more often, I was a little more tired. I had a lot more digestive energy being used.
Okay.
And many people are detached from the impact that your digestive system has on your overall sense of being. Right. So whether you're clogging your digestive system with inorganic, hard to digest proteins, or you're having, some nice chlorophyll early in the morning or something that your body's going to assimilate quickly, you're going to feel different.
Right.
If I load up on Twinkies, or if I load up on grass-fed, or if I load it up on pineapples, it's all different frequency.
Yeah, for sure.
There's an energy exchange in all of food. So for the most part, I do try to limit the frequency throughout the day. I'm working towards eating 1 meal a day right now. I've been a frequent snacker for far too long.
Right. Yeah.
I'm 38 now and I weigh 175. But when I was 12 years old, I was almost 190. So, at one point I was 235 pounds.
Wow.
So,
me too. I was about 200. Last time I checked, it was about 215. Then I stopped checking. That was years ago.
Right.
Then I started trying different things and stuff like that.
So my relationship with my body's always been one of desire to obtain ideal body composition and have a respected physique. And fortunately, a dark night of the soul, per se, brought me to a point of realization of what this vessel holds. And once you can kind of align with that value and align with what it is your potential is as a being, then you can work on the vessel and make sure that your vessel is polished enough to hold that.
For sure. And then how about people that you meet? Like, right, we come across lots of guys and they, oh yeah, how do you do this? And, oh, I want to do that. Or man, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So how was it, your relations with people when they come to you or they see you or they make certain comments?
It's empathy. It's compassion. We're at a point now because of social media, because of digital media, where nobody can really hide who they are. If you walk around, especially 4 years after the world stopped spinning in the name of health, and you're visibly unhealthy, don't tell me you prioritize your health.
Right.
It's visible. I can see it.
Right.
I can see it in the lack of presence. I can see it, doing that. You're not comfortable in your own skin, and I have so much compassion because I've been there, but the law of exposure is real. And when you see what's possible, when you follow the right people on the internet and you can see their own bodies transforming day after day, well, not day after day, but month after month, you can see that.
Right.
You can't unsee that.
Right.
And so I have a lot of empathy and also a lot of willingness to help people and give them guidance as to what worked for me. Everybody's different, but I know what worked for me and I can make suggestions for people. And that's really where I'm starting to put some of my energy, is because I see people that have a desire, they truly have a desire to get better, but there's so much information and there's so much information overload that it's like paralysis by analysis. They don't know what to do. They think it's a pill. They think it's a shake. They think it's
your 6-minute abs. Take this quick and it'll be fast. I see some of the content that you're putting out. It has substance and value, and I see you pushing guys toward like, hey, try this. This is what works for me. With the cherry, right? The apatha cherry.
Yeah, the apatha cherry.
Right? Yeah, and some of the supplements too that I'd like to know more about too.
A lot of what I do, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but in recent, a lot of what I've been sharing, and I would say that it's been and anybody watching this can implement this literally now, right? And throughout the rest of the day, is the magic of fasting. Shout out to the Panda Man, Kyle Newell, who owns a gym out in Hillsborough, New Jersey. But he put me on a program, which essentially is 48-hour fasting weekly. So from Sunday night to Tuesday night, there is nothing entering my body.
Wow. No water?
Water.
Okay.
Yeah, no food, no digestibles, right? I'm 2 weeks removed from that. I did it for 8 weeks consecutively. I haven't done it for the last 2 weeks. I was in, I'm going to give excuses, but I broke on a discipline. I backstepped on it, keep myself accountable. But nonetheless, I see the value in it because food is a tool to support an emotion. That's the way I view it. I feel hunger. We don't know what hunger is, right? Hunger, for the most part, it's just a feeling.
Right.
Desire. Yeah. So how do we react on our feeling? How are we acting on that feeling? Some people, it's let me go just shove something in my mouth for a dopamine hit, and it's not supportive to health. So being able to put your body in a state of apophagy, where it can now start to eat at bad cells, where it can now really drive blood to those brown fat storage, right? A lot of like women typically have colder outer thighs, or on us men, it's our lower abdomen. That's where our brown fat is stored. And that really only gets tapped into when we're not spiking our insulin, right? And you spike your insulin whether you have a banana or a grapefruit, or no matter what you eat, you're telling your body, leave that there. We're going to need that for later, because you're not in a fasted state yet. But when you can fast, you're allowing your body composition to dramatically change, because for a couple parts, it's two-part. Number one, you're spiking your growth hormone, which is going to allow you to put on and maintain muscle mass.
Healthy growth hormones.
Exactly. If you think about it, if we were in the woods right now and we were fasted, the two things our body's going to preserve is going to be our muscle and our brain. And that's what it does. It truly like gives you hyper awareness.
Right. I was thinking about that as you were telling me, like your attention, your awareness of the day, your energy levels.
Right.
With the fasting, some people be like, "Oh man, if I miss a meal,
you're gonna starve."
Yeah, I'm starving. I'm gonna pass out. Or no,
starving is not a choice. Fasting is a choice. So you can make the choice to fast, and you're going to allow your body to use the body fat, which is stored for you for that reason. Body fat's there for a reason. People who are walking around with excess body fat, what a blessing. Your body loves you so much, it has stocked up food in the fridge around here, to use. And so it's all by design. And I feel that fasting is part of our genius design.
Yeah, we do need to get back to that. That's big time. Or ancient, scriptures, and talk about it in any religion.
Every religious context.
There's always some fasting.
And there's still some religions that do it. You have Ramadan, in Islam, it's an entire month. So there's a lot of
with prayer.
Exactly.
With God. That's the vibration, getting into that. How about your motivation, or lack of a better word, or your drive? Like, where does that come from? Or because I know you get up in the morning. I mean, I'm up every day at 4 a.m. Like I just get up. This is just what I do now, But there's times that little voice, and the one I'm talking about, like, it doesn't shut the fuck up. Like it's just there. Like, where are you going? What are you doing? Why are you pushing yourself so hard? Like, so how about for you? How does that look, and throughout your day, and in the gym, and
so to rewind 15 seconds, the fasting is a direct conversation and confrontation with that voice, because that voice is telling you, you got to eat something. You're starving.
Right.
You can quickly realize, no, I'm good.
Right.
I'm in control here.
Right, exactly.
And you rise above them. But that voice does arrive, and oftentimes it's becoming aware of it and not becoming it per se, right? Like just observing rather than absorbing, being able to view it as a voice that's either supporting, in a sense of encouragement, like, yeah, you should make that video, or you should do that, or trying to support in the sense of fear. Fear comes from love too.
Right.
It's a really darker place, but I'm sorry, but a lot of times that people have fear, it's really just your mind's way of trying to protect you.
That's it, right?
It's such just a protective mechanism, and sometimes fear is there, but I believe that our logic transcends fear.
Yeah,
I believe that we can truly think
fear is not even real. Like if I gave you a jar and said, "Go get some fear, fill it in the jar."
Yeah, you can't find it.
There's none. It doesn't exist.
Right.
It's FEAR, right? Is the
false evidence appearing real.
Real.
Yeah, man.
So, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
Tell me more about that about your motivation? What pushes you? How do you get it done when when it's there?
Knowing that I need to transcend myself, knowing that I'm not here to serve myself, knowing that if I don't post in the morning, there's somebody who follows me that needs motivation, that who has children looking at him, that realizes that, wow, dad's soft and this guy's not, so why not? Like, realizing whether it's through a DM or somebody saying, hey, I just started fasting, it's helped me, it's helped me so much, or hey, like they'll tag me like in their workouts or something like that. That's it encourages me to further on. But I think deep down inside, we all have subconscious programs. We all have things that have either occurred in our life. We all have driving factors, be it traumas or motivating factors that drive us. And deep down inside, whether it's relationship with father, or parents, or the bullying as I face as a child, all those things are driving factors. And I think we have to become aware of our programming.
It's awareness for you. It's awareness, knowing that that's there.
100%.
So when those things come up, you're like, oh, I see you. I see you.
Yeah.
That happens to me too. Once that thing, whatever you want to call it, ego or whatever, just rises, like, I see you. You're obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we need that though. Like, I think there's this whole concept of ego death per se, and it's something I seeked for a long time, where we don't need an ego. And our feet are on the floor for a reason. We need an ego, right? But what type of ego are we carrying? Is it one that's healthy and supportive to ourselves and others? Or is it one that's vampiric?
Right.
Is it taking energy from others? Are you taking from this world and not giving back? Are you just consuming, or are you creating? Like, there's different types of ego. And I think ultimately we're at a point where this world arguably can definitely be in a better place because of many unhealthy egos, and people within their ego but lacking the awareness of their ego.
Right. Yes. That has taken me some time to come to terms with too, and to recognize it and see it, and then to know that it is subservient to me, not the other way around. Like, when I get a thought, like, I know that those are just messages that are just coming in. I know who I am. I am self-aware. I know my inner compass. I'm here. I know that I'm the one deep inside. I'm consciousness. Consciousness never speaks, so it's quiet. It's the observer of everything. But the tool that's used is the ego, the one that pushes you, like, get up and go fix that and go make that and go help that person and serve better and those type of things. But it also works other ways too.
Yeah.
I hear other things. Oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you're not smart enough. You're not white enough. Why are you doing these interviews? Like, oh, you're not a. Who are you?
Yeah, but it's
like, push past those things.
Having the balance, right? So, like, the shadow self is just it's an essential part of ourself. Like, there is a light aspect of ourselves, right? The awareness, but there's also, every light casts a shadow, or at least has a shadow if something's in the way, and we're in the way of that light. So we have our own shadow. And I think that the magic is dancing with both, being in the 50-50, being in the light and being in the dark, utilizing that dark energy. In fact, there's a recent interview you should check out with Jake Paul and Aubrey Marcus. Aubrey Marcus
I don't think I caught it. I've seen it, but
Aubrey Marcus is a facilitator of plant medicine and breath work and things of that sort. And many things. And what he really dives into is that dance of the two, and like, for me, I'm, whether it's in a gym, pushing anger and going into that shadow realm per se, or if it's on a mat, like grappling with somebody, there's always an element of shadow that has to be there. Otherwise, I'm just hugging everybody. You know what I mean? Otherwise, like, I'm just, hey, nice lightweight. It doesn't get us anywhere.
I've seen that too.
Yeah, I was there, man. I was there.
Goal here. Like, why are you not with a pad and and pen, like writing down the weights and, like, what's your goal? What are you because I was there too. But now it's tracking for me. That's what we push here at Omziel very hard too. Track your things. What are you doing? Like, how do you know if you're losing weight if you're not writing it down?
Yeah.
Get a calendar, put it on your closet door. That's the one that we use. It's a desk calendar.
Uh-huh.
We put the month up on the closet door, not inside where you can't see it, on the outside, right? And then start recording what you do. Like if you went to the gym or if you meditated, but also track other things like if you watch too much TV or if you ate the whole bag of chips. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because our mind goes back to our training, right? But if there's nothing strong there, then it just goes to that. But if there's something strong, see, then it's uplifting, and the tracking is what we push. And that
Hmm.
way you can look back. You go, oh man, I went to the gym 4 times here. I was going 2 times. Now I went 4.
Right.
Let me go. Let me see if I can do 5
Yeah.
times a week.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I use a mobile app for that. I use
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
but it,
Sometimes it's a way. That's
yeah,
why
no,
we
for
try to tell
sure.
guys, it's hiding now
It's
because we
got to
touch
have a
that.
tangible something to look at, something that you're like, oh, I can see the
Exactly. And then
progress.
we tell guys to get different color markers too, because scientists know that when you mark things just with a black mark, it just blends right in.
Right. That
It
makes
just
sense.
disappears.
That
You got
makes
to be
sense.
yellow, red, oranges. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I do. Like blue is for I went running. I put like pink or
I got to get
fuchsia
some
for
more blue on
yoga.
the page. I got to run more.
Right,
Yeah, that
exactly.
makes perfect sense, man. Visual cues are important. And then you see like those visual cues are probably like in alignment with your goals, right? You
Yep.
mentioned something earlier, like your programs are like they're kind of always speaking to you. So if you were told growing up from the age of birth to 5, he doesn't like running, he's not a runner,
Yep.
he likes to sit down, you're gonna act that out the rest of your adult life.
Yes.
But if you say, no, I want to run, I'm gonna get more blue on this page,
Right. Yeah. You're gonna get,
you're
look,
able to
I'm a
track it.
runner. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to
Right.
track it.
Atomic Habits is another big book that we push too, right?
Hmm.
James Clear, I think it is.
Hmm.
But in any case, he talks about those habits, how you have to keep marking them and create those atomic habits.
Hmm.
That way it breaks those old notions of
Hmm.
like oh no, I don't run because I'm not a runner.
Right.
But when you go to the
Habits are key.
gym more often, or when you're writing more often, see, now you're a writer
Right.
as opposed to I wrote something. No, you could see it. Like, hey, I wrote 5 times this week, man.
Yeah, and I think there's an element. There's power in habitual habits, right? One of my mentors says he uses the term non-negotiable habits. So having non-negotiable habits that are in alignment with what it is you want to obtain. So if you want to become a book writer and you don't have a daily habit of writing a paragraph, that book's never going to get done, right? If you want to become a jiu-jitsu world champion, but you don't have a habit of training several times a week, it's not going to get done. And the same thing with anything you want to accomplish, whether it's push-ups or whether it's building a brick wall. It's a brick by brick. You should have a habit of laying 3 bricks down a day. You don't got to build a wall. 3 bricks down, you're good. Tomorrow, lay another 3. Eventually, you got a wall.
And another thing, also, I mentioned Atomic Habits, which I could go through many books, but books are big here too. We always
Hmm.
push books, and we always share it too. We have a folder that we send in the email, audio books and PDF files.
Hmm.
Yeah, just to enlighten guys.
Hmm.
Like, come on, what are you reading? What's your latest book?
Yeah.
I read something 2 years ago. Nah, man.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I think information is essential. I think application is precedent
Oh,
because
yes.
we
For
can have a
sure.
lot of information,
That's
but then
another
it's
thing. Right. You have to
implement
apply
it.
it.
Yeah, apply
That's
it,
right.
man.
That's right. Big time.
Apply it.
But thank you so much for your
Cool.
time,
Thank you,
man. I
bro.
appreciate you. Great
Staying warm in the conversation. I forgot it was cold.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
want to hear some more things about some other things that you mentioned too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's keep it going, okay? Thank you
Thank
so
you, brother.
much.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, there you have it. Peace and love.